What is art? It's such a giant word, such a loaded word, almost like asking what is God. I mean, how on earth do you answer that? The most startling thing I think that I've found about the artistic process, at least for me, is that it's all about tapping the unconscious well and going to that deep, dark place where cave spiders dwell. I've always courted the caves in my creative realm, which I think stems all the way back to childhood, when my magical and wounded child archetype was in full throttle. Anybody that's ever read Joseph Campbell knows what I'm referring to, but when it was in full throttle, inventing and befriending monsters and demons as a way of coping with emotional wounds. It's actually a pretty common developmental device that often follows us into adulthood, and I believe that it completely takes the wheel when we begin to, or when we decide to become or discover that we are creative beings and we enter the realm of imagination. I embrace the caves. A friend once asked me why my novels always seemed to be about death or violence, and he asked in a manner that betrayed his genuine concern for my tendency to court nightmares. And I tried to explain to him that, for me, it's not about finding fashion in a kind of bleak chic. I told him that I thought it was more accurate to describe my novels as always being about people who are damaged or broken in some way, because it is my deepest belief that the damaged nature of humanity is where the truth of the human condition lies. And I mean, truth of the human condition, isn't that what we're all seeking as artists? So what is art? I can't say I remember the exact moment that art ensnared me, but I mean, through all the pestilence, scourge, famine, and heartbreak that I've ever had in my life, art has always had the uncanny knack for showing up, and not to anesthetize me. Art has never been a motif of escape for me. For me, it is a conduit, helping me to make sense of this life's mercilessly, unapologetically, unabashedly random nature. Like I said, I really don't remember the exact moment, but ever since childhood, wherever there was an arts and crafts day or event, I was sure to be found with my little bare feet sliding around in the paint plops left on the floor, and my hands draped in wild hues, and clutching paint brushes or glue sticks or wire or beads or clay, or I was spinning wild yarns. The world was mine, to fashion as I saw fit, to angle, to shape and sculpt, to give words, to drench in music, to infest and infect with color and heft. Whenever anyone asks me, well, what kind of an artist are you? What's your medium? I always say, well, I write books and I sing and compose music. I do a little bit of painting. But it always feels like, my brain gets very discombobulated when I'm asked that question, because I always feel like all I'm doing is really rattling off a grocery list. And, the real core of that answer, I just feel like it's never there. Because art isn't a grocery list of the physical materials that make it up and then shoved into labeled boxes, writer, composer, singer, musician, whatever. It is beyond the paper and the paint and the parchment and the scraps and the words on a page and the tone and rhythm and harmony of sound. It is beyond medium. It is beyond genre. It is the statement, the blood, the life revealed. In that way, I suppose I've lived my entire life as an exhibitionist. Now with writing, obviously it's all about words, and I love words. But when it comes to the other modes of storytelling that I've ever engaged, the painting I've done, for example, or even songwriting. I mean, with songwriting, I've never actually followed that template of verse, chorus, bridge, modulation, whatever pop template happens to be, in the fashion at the moment. I've sort of never done that. And so in a sense, even the music that I've written has been sort of this. It's the abstract medium that has largely spoken to me, because I get that place before language, before linear narrative, that primitive place that sparks a purely visceral reaction that's deeply hidden beneath all the layers of our modern self-preservation, now unleashed. Yeah, that's what art is to me. An unleashing.